Live from Sydney, 7 News with Angela Cox and Mark Ferguson.
Good evening. The war on Sydney's trains will come to a head tomorrow at an emergency Christmas Eve hearing of the Fair Work Commission with no sign of any festive goodwill.
Today, the union offered up a peace plan of sorts to delay any more strikes until next month. But the state government rejected the proposal, claiming it would cost taxpayers a fortune.
An escalating train driver pay dispute goes off the rails.
We can't hold the people of Sydney hostage.
Negotiations between the state government and the rail union breaking down. Tonight, both sides are at a stalemate.
So, Premier, if you're listening, come and speak to us.
I think that this is a bit of a game.
The union putting forward a so-called peace plan, offering to pause its industrial action until January 7th, only if the government withdraws its legal action in the Fair Work Commission and provide fare free travel on all forms of public transport until a deal is done. But the Premier isn't buying it.
I stupidly agreed to that twice in the last 6 months, but the strikes kept happening and the industrial dispute went longer.
Arguing a deal could take months and fare-free travel would cost taxpayers $127 million every 30 days.
There is no magic Christmas pudding here to pay for the union's demands.
The union is seeking an 8% pay rise every year for 4 years, a total of 32%. Making the average annual package $198,000 by 2028. Compare that to the salaries of a nurse and teacher.
New South Wales taxpayers can't afford it. The rail system can't afford it.
We're always here to negotiate. We're here to negotiate around all of our claims.
With the threat of cancelling New Year's Eve fireworks now a political football.
Nothing is off the table, including, hate to say this, but including cancelling the fireworks.
There's no chance New Year's Eve's fireworks will be cancelled.
In breaking news this evening, 7 News can confirm there has been a major backdown in this stoush, with the unions agreeing to drop 8 of their work bans in place for New Year's Eve, including the limit on kilometres travelled. These bans will be lifted from 11 p.m. tonight in a sign that goodwill is returning to these negotiations. There are still some bans in place, including from the Electrical Trades Union, so the government will still have to head to the Fair Work Commission tomorrow for the Commission to thrash out a way forward. But there is some good news tonight for those heading to the harbour to watch the New Year's Eve fireworks, with a plan underway to be able to get them home.
That is good news. Taylor Aiken with the very latest from Redfern. Disturbing video is being shared online of an Australian mercenary being interrogated and taunted after he was captured in Ukraine. Oscar Jenkins is the first known Australian to be taken by the Russians as a prisoner of war. But there could be an unlikely avenue to secure his freedom.
Dazed, confused, captured.
Oscar Jenkins, 32 years old.
Oscar Jenkins from Melbourne, in Ukraine, fighting the Russians. Now they're prisoner.
Откуда ты? Национальность? Говори быстрее.
Я из Australia. I'm Australian.
He's the first known Australian prisoner of war in this conflict.
This is concerning news.
The Prime Minister confirming foreign affairs officials are making representations.
We always look after Australians.
Today, they hauled in Russia's ambassador to protest Jenkins' treatment.
Здесь делаешь что?
Солдат.
Ты ебанутый, учитель.
He's believed to have travelled to Ukraine this year. A former student at prestigious Melbourne Grammar, then Monash Uni, he moved to China in 2015. He taught and had a YouTube channel.
Drive me crazy. The only people who are friends with me anyway are vegans.
Friends were worried for his mental health.
It's driving me absolutely insane.
No comment at his parents' home today. Australia's Ukrainian community has sent support.
Then I watched the video myself and I couldn't stop crying. We're here for Oscar, we're here for the family.
Dozens of Australians are believed to be fighting in Ukraine. At least 8 have died. The Russians are ruthless with mercenaries.
За деньги, money. Ты за money.
One option for Oscar Jenkins' possible freedom could, in fact, lie here, the Russian consulate in Sydney, where a man who calls himself Russia's Julian Assange has been holed up for 2 years and is now offering himself on a prisoner exchange. A quick glimpse in the consulate window, the so-called Aussie Cossack Simeon Boykov. You really think there's a chance here of a prisoner swap deal?
This could be the best way, maybe the only way. I'm ready. My bags are packed. I've got a Russian passport in my pocket.
Jenkins, the idealistic freedom fighter, now fighting for his own freedom. Chris Reason, 7 News.
Now, an Australian citizen, a former American pilot, is set to be extradited to the United States, accused of working with the Chinese military. Father of 6, Daniel Duggan, has spent almost 2 years in solitary confinement over allegations he trained Chinese pilots more than a decade ago. He could be surrendered as early as next week, his family slamming the decision as inhumane. If convicted, he's facing up to 60 years behind bars.
With just 2 sleeps until the big day, the rush to finish off that final Christmas shopping is well and truly on. Angelique Opie is live from a busy Pitt Street Mall. Angelique, shoppers are out in force.
And it's the busiest time of the year for stores. Bumper foot traffic here tonight. In fact, many retailers make 2/3 of profit at this time of year. No shortage of for sale signs, perfect for those hoping to snatch a deal and who may be leaving Christmas shopping to the 11th hour.
It's the season of giving, gifting and spending.
Didn't really plan in advance long enough, so here we are.
Toys to kids' presents, adult presents.
This year, shoppers will fork out $22 billion across New South Wales, up $800 million from last year.
Mainly just trying to find nice things for people that they wouldn't buy for themselves. So I suppose that's a bit of a splurge.
The sprint to the end coming to a crawl.
I was super worried about parking, like anxious parker, stressful, busy, big queues.
However, many already have their lists ticked off.
We're pretty well prepared going into this Christmas.
We also saw early spending happening as early as October this year, and with many Australians taking advantage of the bargains during Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales.
Retail trading hours have been extended. Most Coles and Kmart stores open until midnight, along with Myer in Pitt Street Mall. Westfield centres across the city open until 9 tonight, just 6 p.m. tomorrow. The Sydney Fish Market is hosting its 1.5-day marathon.
We're expecting to sell about 350 tonnes of seafood over the next 36 hours.
An abundance available. Rock oysters and lobsters are proving particularly popular.
Can't be lobster at Christmas time, can you?
It's always fresh and I just like it because it's nice and busy.
Crowds that are fit for a feast as the clock counts down. Angelique Opie, 7 News.
There's a nasty update for drivers just north of the city. They're being warned to expect a traffic nightmare thanks to the Warringah Freeway upgrade, with a construction blitz causing delays and disruption for a month. Crews will be demolishing bridges and building new retaining walls. That means there'll be lane and ramp closures on different days at Kemmeray, Neutral Bay and also in many parts of North Sydney.
We're working continuously on the Warringah Freeway. There will be significant disruptions. People should avoid the area if possible.
Please check before you travel. There are so many changes happening.
The works will start at 10 p.m. on Boxing Day, running right through until Australia Day.
To breaking news, Australian tennis has been rocked by shock claims which came into effect on December 12. Ranked world number 12 in doubles, Purcell has admitted to using what's described as a prohibited method. It means he's banned from playing in, coaching or attending any tennis event. It's been revealed a woman who unleashed a verbal attack on a Muslim mother at a Bankstown Kmart was already on the radar of police. Kelly Faruja faced court today, also accused of intimidating a principal at a Western Sydney school.
A volley of verbal abuse at Bankstown Kmart over a T-shirt.
Are you proud of wearing from the river to the sea?
Filmed calmly from the point of view of the woman wearing it.
I was completely frightened. My daughter was terrified.
It caught the attention of social media and sparked a police hunt for this woman. Kelly Faruja was arrested last night and in court today. The victim was wearing a pro-Palestine shirt, her 10-year-old daughter crouching for cover behind her.
I was just thinking, how can I make this situation as safe as possible for myself, my daughter and everybody around us. It was very, very intimidating.
Mariam also claims Fallujah had been throwing boxes at her before she began recording.
She started making some gestures, and one of them was a slow gesture of slitting a throat.
The 39-year-old is facing charges of stalk, intimidate and common assault. It was also revealed in court today that Fallujah's had a long-running feud with a principal at a Granville school, allegedly driving her car at him. In order to walk free today, she agreed to give up on that dispute. She was granted bail but is not to enter or go within 500 metres of Granville or Bankstown. Mariam says her daughter chose her T-shirt that morning and will continue to wear it. Tom Saker, 7 News.
There's another twist in the case of a husband killed and dumped near the body of his wife in Botany. It's been revealed Rex Chen was caught up in a dial-a-dealer drug bust back in 2020 and had a criminal record dating back years. Police suspect he and his wife were murdered by foreign hitmen linked to his homeland of Taiwan.
The former Bishop of Broome was back in court today to face more sexual assault allegations. Christopher Saunders has indicated he intends to fight the 5 new charges, which relate to the alleged indecent assault of a 24-year-old man in 2016. The 74-year-old is already facing dozens of historical charges, including rape and indecently dealing with a child after 7 News exposed details of a secret investigation by the Vatican. Saunders will be back in court in February.
Australian media is in for a blockbuster shake-up with a streaming giant backed by a Russian billionaire now in the box seat to buy Foxtel, Binge and Kayo.
The $3.5 billion deal will see DAZN pick up around 5 million Australian subscribers.
In the subscription wars, a knockout punch. The big fights.